Greetings, everybody. Joan Graham here, and I'm with Shirley Mercado this morning, and we're bringing you Wednesday Wisdom. Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning, Joanne. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Shirley. And yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Have you got rain there today?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's raining here too.
yeah.
But it's
I
great for
would,
the
I would like
lawns.
to ask you how are you that you are watching us and to tell us where you come from. Put in the comments, please.
Absolutely, because we do reach quite a fair way these days. It's really getting out there. And we thank you. We're very grateful for everybody tuning in to us. Last week we talked about good debt versus bad debt. So we're following up with that this week. And Shirley, would you like to start this off with some examples of good debt?
Yes, sure. I think good that uh, I use as an example the investment that I did with our business. I didn't have the money to put in, but I felt that she could give me a good return. And as well, I thought about my health because this business, he bring me health and he bring me income. And then I think is a good that this word is hard for me, but I'm going to learn to say.
It's okay, it's all good.
I think this is a good example. What you think?
Yeah, that and everything that we do um, is either for us or against us. I could probably use an example of a man that I worked with who, when I met him, had $1 million in debt. Now, was that good debt or bad debt? That actually was good debt because he had bought properties with that money.
Mhm.
And he'd bought quite a few properties with that money back then because houses weren't as expensive. And he bought a lot of industrial, commercial properties as well. So everything was reasonable. But that is classed as good debt because he was getting a return on his money, return on investment that well and truly covered the $1 million debt. And he just every month chipped away at that debt, putting a little bit extra on. And I think it took him 5 years to clear that $1 million debt, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Other examples of good debt would be buying a house.
I had one good example that I have done recently. Uh, I borrowed some money to fix my house in Brazil.
Okay.
To paint all the house, to change the doors, because this house give me a could say a passive income, and that I'm investing in my patrimony as well. Because if I live in my house like awful and broken, I'm going to lose the price of the rent. And then I got some money to put my house beautiful again. And then I can get a good money in return to pay this money that I borrow from the bank. I think it's a
Yeah,
good example of a good debt
that,
again.
that's a great example of good debt. I mean, even, I know some people that invest in vehicles
Mhm.
and, they can make three times their money by the time they sell it. And there's a lot of people that buy vehicles and hold on to them,
Yeah.
waiting for the price to rise so that they can sell them and get a really good return on investment. So it just depends on where you want to put your money. Have passive income is fantastic, like that, Shirley. And, if it's covering the debt, then that's absolutely fine.
Mhm.
So, what are some examples of bad debt that you can think of?
I think like borrow some money to buy clothes.
Okay. And you
So,
know, and
uh,
you say that, surely, and I go into shops here and it has buy this now with Afterpay.
yeah,
And I think, really? Um,
it's a lot
yeah,
of tension around it, né? To buy and pay after paying 3 times.
oh,
That like you need to really think about. I need these clothes. I need
yeah,
is going to give me something or just going to put me in struggle. Oh my
no,
God, I need to pay after that. Doesn't it make sense? And then you need
no,
to be really conscious where you put your money.
yep.
If you get your money to do something that's good, return, that's all right. If not, it's just going to give you the pleasure, momentary pleasure you need to think about.
And credit cards are another area of bad debt because of the high interest that's charged on them. And yes, it's okay if you use your credit card to purchase an asset like a business,
Mhm.
but just make sure you pay that off more than what the interest, than what your monthly payment is.
Yeah.
Knock it off as soon as you can. And if you've got a couple of credit cards already, may I suggest to you that you pay the one off first, concentrate on paying one off at a time, but pay the one off that's got the highest interest, because that is really bad debt.
Mhm.
You know, we all have to do what we have to do in this economy to
Yeah.
get through. We we went shopping on Sunday, and you know how you try and shop locally. You try and not shop in the big supermarkets, in the duopoly, whatever, not a monopoly, but a duopoly that we
Okay.
have, the supermarkets in Australia. So we went to one of the other well known supermarkets, and
Mhm.
I just happened to walk past the meat counter. And they had steak in there for $137 a kilo. Good thing I don't like steak. Good thing I don't buy steak. It's like,
Oh my
what?
God. Yeah.
Now,
And another
that,
thing, Joanne, that I wanna put here, that you don't see more the money, the cash money circulate. You need to use card for everything. Our
yes.
economy is changing, and like you don't see money.
And that's what we should be doing. We should be withdrawing the cash out of our bank and
Yeah,
paying with cash. Because
exactly.
if we lose cash, how many things are affected? You know, the tooth fairy can't come. You know, all those little, you can't pay the kids for their little bobber job um, things
Yeah,
that they do, you know, their chores. It's such a big part of our community. I mean, if I go into a store now and they say we don't take cash, I go find another store that does.
yeah,
I will not be dictated to. I remember going into a kitchen place, which is very nice, I might add, and we wanted to buy something, and they said, "Oh," and we offered cash, and they said, "Oh no, we don't take cash." And I've gone, "It's legal tender. Why do you not take cash?" And she says, "We have this special arrangement with the tax office that we don't have to take cash."
yeah.
I
This is how
almost rolled around in the floor laughing at that statement.
yeah.
You know, ridiculous. But I
This is
guess in a
another
way,
subject.
it stops staff theft. It stops the staff from doing stuff they shouldn't do. But you cannot, well, I don't think you cannot refuse legal tender.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. So if you've got any thoughts around this subject and you want a bit more discussion on it, pop in the comments and we'll come back and we'll address those comments on a later broadcast that we do. So
Yeah, I
Shirley,
will,
do you have Yeah.
And
Anything else?
I would like to listen from you what you think is a good dad and what you think is a bad dad. And if you would like to know more, like Joanne said, put in the comments and you are going to answer your questions. Thank you for listening us today.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate your comments and have an amazing week. And we will see you next week. So, bye from us.
Bye.